Hey, what is up guys, Kevin here with P.O.G, where we're going to be going over Free Squeeze 2nd place Apprentice Inner Conflict deck, or at least that's what I'm going to call it, for Curseof's Fun for All tournament. Oh my gosh. First off, congratulations to Free Squeeze for getting 2nd place with this deck. Let's go over it and why he got what he got, why he managed to get 2nd place with this deck. First, let's talk about Inner Conflict, best skill of the format, and it will be for a very long time until this thing gets power creeped into oblivion. If you don't know, we've gone over this card multiple times before, but we're going to go over it again, just for everybody else, and see how everything goes, right? So, that being said, skill states, activate the skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can pay half your life points and take control of one monster your opponent controls until the end phase, but it cannot attack directly this turn. We don't care because we're tributing it off for Blowback Dragon. So yeah, Free Squeeze decided to play Blowback Dragon over literally everything else, and in many ways it helped, and in many ways I can see where, you know, it just didn't work out for him because of the effect. Because he had almost equal results from it. If you don't know, Blowback Dragon is a dark level 6 machine monster with 2300 attack and 1200 defense that clearly states once per turn you can target one card your opponent controls, toss a coin 3 times, and destroy that target if at least 2 of those results are heads. As you can see, very, very easy to pop cards on field. Definitely a really, really good card for half your life points. But other than that, there's not much really to talk about here. It's just a really good card, and it is situational to those coin flips, but apparently it's worth it because he got 2nd. Let's move on to the cards and what I call the main reason he got 2nd. Let's talk about Apprentice Magician first. If you don't know what Apprentice Magician does, it's a dark level 2 spellcaster monster, 400 attack, 800 defense that says if this card is summoned, target one face-up card on the field that you can place a spell counter on and place one spell counter on that target. If this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon one level 2 or lower spellcaster monster from your deck in face down defense position. Why is all of this relevant? Well, we have to go into our next card, which is Breaker, the Magical Warrior. Breaker, the Magical Warrior says if this card is normal summon, place one spell counter on it, max 1. It gains 300 attack for each spell counter on it, and you can remove one spell counter from this card, then target one spell and trap card on the field and destroy that target. It's dark, level 4, 1600 attack, 1000 defense, spellcaster type. So, its back row pops on legs, as well as Apprentice Magician here, being able to flip summon itself and put another counter on one of these. It's just really nice and allows you to get another pop off. Not to mention, you can go through these if your opponent has 2 monsters, or if they have 3. You can cycle through all of these as long as they're in the deck. And then on the last one, summon either Magician of Faith or Old Vindictive Magician. Hey, let's go over these first, right? Old Vindictive Magician. Dark level 2 spellcaster flip effect monster with 450 attack and 600 defense that states flip, target one monster your opponent controls, destroy that target. Really, really good cards, just monster removal. It's so nice, is a nice. And then Magician of Faith is a light level 1 spellcaster flip effect monster with 300 attack and 400 defense. It says flip, target one spell in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. As you can see, we play nothing but spells other than monsters. So we know Free Squeeze didn't have to worry about really Jinzo being a problem here, mainly from the fact that we could pop it, or we could take it. We'll get into all that, or we could pop it, you know. But we'll get into all of that, or we could take it, you know. Anyway, but yeah, Magician of Faith, you have 3 targets here that you really can abuse. But let's finish off with our Sphere Creable, our Dark Level 1 Fiend Monster, 300 attack, 200 defense. He's just a good defensive card. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send it from your hand to the graveyard and change the attacking monster to defense position. We all know this, but for people who don't, it's good to go over it. So, before we move on to spells, how did this work exactly? We saw multiple times Apprentice Magician being used to not only stall out the opponent from doing damage to Free Squeeze, but then when their opponent didn't have any more monsters to attack with, or they attacked with their lost monster that they had, Apprentice Magician would either summon out Old Vindictive or Mission of Faith face down to get more card advantage. Same thing with Breaker. If Breaker is on field and they don't want to deal with it, and they can only attack into Apprentice, you would see them attacking into these, and sometimes one would be left on field instead of attacking to it and giving card advantage. However, it still gave Free Squee card advantage from the fact that it was flip summon and then a counter was put on Breaker and giving him more attack on the monster as well as being able to pop another back row. This was all about field control and maintaining presence on board. Other than that, very simple. Let's move on to spells. 3 Allure of Darkness. Why 3 Allure? We need to dig through cards, and guess what? Every single card except for Magician of Faith is a dark monster. Magician of Faith is the only light monster that is not, well, it's the only monster that's not a dark monster, it's a light monster. So really, really good in this deck. 3 Book of Moon, we've talked about Book of Moon before and how important it is, and how important it's going to be in this format. Offensively, defensively, it was used to flip opponent's stuff face down, it was used to flip this stuff back face down to get another use out of it, or this to give another counter to this, didn't really matter. Such a great card. Finally, 2 Creature Swap. Why Creature Swap? You have a lot of these low-level monsters that you can just give to your opponent and take something big. Even better yet, giving your opponent the Apprentice Magician attacking into it and summoning another Apprentice Magician on your side of the field, or an Old Vindictive, or Magician of Faith face down was really, 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 really good. So, Creature Swap, super nice card. Let's move on to the side deck. 2 Kaiku. This is for XYZ, and some could even say Magnet Warriors, but mainly XYZ. Doesn't let them banish, and you can start banishing 2 monsters from the graveyard if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent. It's 1800 attack. It probably will. Dark, again, important. Level 4 spellcaster, 1800 attack, 700 defense. Really, really good. 2 of them. A second Old Vindictive, where one sometimes just wasn't enough. There's a second one. There's not much else to say. And then 3 of the not as good Sekuretsu armor called Widespread Ruin. Widespread Ruin says, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy 1 attack position monster your opponent controls with the highest attack, and it's your choice if it's tied. So, really, really good. It's basically Sekuretsu armor, but just not as good. And finally, the extra deck, it was just a bunch of the XYZ fusion cards. Final thoughts on this deck. I'm surprised. But not for the reason you might think. I'm surprised in the fact that someone would come up with this. Now, but leave it to Free Squee, right? That someone would come up with this and pilot it very, very well, as a good player would, and get top 2 with it, honestly. And let's be honest, this is one of the main reasons Inner Conflict, to be able to put such a smattering of cards together and do so well, really testifies to how good Inner Conflict is and how important it's going to be, you know, way into the future. And again, until I said it just gets power crept, because that's the way Speed Duels runs. Cards get power crept out of the meta, and eventually this will get power crept too. So, but right now it's the best. But with that being said, the deck does seem like it takes a lot of ability, your skill ability. It takes a lot of thinking to know, oh, hey, do I summon another Apprentice? Do I, get out one of these, my 2 flip effect monsters? When am I activating my allures? And especially when am I activating my skill? But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's just knowing when. So, again, congratulations to Free Squee for getting 2nd place with this. Crazy. But, again, congratulations. All the congrats in the world. If I get my hands on the other ones before Curseof releases them, I will bring them to you as soon as possible. And even after he releases them, I will do deck profiles on them. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, give us a share here or there. Check out all the links down below, whether it be any of the Discord servers or our Twitter. Go ahead and check them all out. I think they're really great. They'll be, again, down in the description below. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. This was Kevin with P.O.G. Until next time, guys. See ya.